friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams again today. I cannot believe that we are halfway through 2020. It has been a long year already. But at the same time, we're already halfway through. So let's hope the second half is better than the first half. But I just wanted to take a few minutes today to take a look at some of the goals that I had for this year in my reading and reflect on them and see how I'm doing. This year, as well as last year in 2019, I did not give myself very many goals. So I really don't have a long video for you, and I split these goals up into 3 videos in December when I was doing Vlogmas. So I have 3 goals. They were 5 classics that I wanted to read this year, 5 authors that I own multiple books from that I want to read this year, and then my recommendations that I asked for you guys to give me. So I have those 3 goals to talk about today. Let's just jump right in. First of all, let's talk about the 5 classics. I have not done very well on this goal. I am almost done with the first one on that list. I have still like 300 pages to go in Gone with the Wind. This will be done by the end of July. Fingers crossed. The other 4 books on this list are Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte, Far from the Maddening Crowd by Thomas Hardy, The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, and Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell. Now, all of these, I believe, can be read for Victober. I am planning on reading Wives and Daughters in October, and maybe I'll get to one of these as well. However, yeah. This one is huge, but I did see that I can get the audiobook of it, which always helps. And it really is just over 600 pages, which isn't that long. This one is like 1,000 pages, so it's taking me forever, 2 months. But I'm working my way through it. I would like to still hopefully get to 2 or 3 more of these before the end of the year. I honestly don't think I'll get to all of them, but who knows? There's still 6 months to go. It's possible. The second goal that I had was 5 authors that I wanted to read from, and of the 5, I've read from 2 of them, so I am doing pretty good with this goal. I will show you the stack. So I have this stack of Lisa See books, and of course I read the shortest one. Right in January, I read Snowflower and the Secret Fan. So I also have on my pile The Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane, Shanghai Girls, China Dolls, Dreams of Joy, and Peony in Love. So I would like to read another Lisa See, but honestly I'm not sure that that's going to happen this year either, but I did read one from her, and that was the goal. The second author that I have read from, and I've actually acquired a few more since that original video, is Diane Chamberlain. I have read The Dream Daughter and Necessary Lies, both of which I read in June, but I also own Pretending to Dance, Keeper of the Light, and Big Lies in a Small Town. I absolutely loved the 2 that I read in June, and am really excited to read more from her. It's possible that I'll get to 1 more of these before the end of the year, just because I really think that she could be a new favorite of mine. We shall see. The next author that I wanted to read from is Denise Hunter. I have Dancing with Fireflies, Just a Kiss, and Blue Ridge Sunrise, and I believe Blue Ridge Sunrise is the first in a series, but neither of these are the first in their series. So if I get to one this year, it will be Blue Ridge Sunrise, and it does have a kind of a fall feel to it. There's like peaches or apples in a basket there, and that just feels like August, September. So this probably will get read, but these ones I probably will not get to because they are not the first in their series. So I should have paid a little more attention to that when picking up those books, I guess. The 4th author is Jhumpa Lahiri. I own 3 books by Jhumpa Lahiri, and I have The Namesake, The Lowland, and Interpreter of Maladies. This one is the most likely to get read this year because it is the shortest, and I believe it's a collection of short stories, which makes it perfect for a readathon that might be coming up this year. Not the Reading Rush, I just filmed my TBR for that, and this is not going to be on it, but hopefully I do still get to Jhumpa Lahiri before the end of the year. I'm planning on it. We'll see. For the 5th and final author that I wanted to read from this year that I haven't yet is Bill Bryson, and I have 5 of his books. I have A Walk in the Woods, The Life and Times of the Thunderbolt Kid, The Lost Continent, Dictionary of Troublesome Words, A Writer's Guide to Getting It Right, and A Short History of Nearly Everything. I think A Walk in the Woods is probably the one that's most likely to be read this year. This will probably be on my nonfiction November TBR. Let me know if any of the other ones are really good and quick reads. But I've heard that he's a humorous author, and so I've been slowly picking up his books when I've seen them at library sales or thrift stores. And now I have quite a few and haven't read any of his. So I need to get to him hopefully before the end of the year. So hopefully that goal will be fully accomplished by reading at least one from all of those authors by the end of the year. I've done 2 so far, have 3 to go. That is not bad. Better than the classics goal so far. And then finally, I have my lovely TBR cart, which is where I'm gonna just turn you a little bit so that you can see it. It's sitting right here next to me. This cart, which you can't really see because the camera is so close. Like, you can see a little bit more of it anyway. So this cart is where I have placed all the books that you guys recommended to me that I own. This year I specifically asked you to look at my owned TBR list on Goodreads and to choose a book from there that you think I should read. And this is where I put them all. This was totally filled at the beginning of the year, but I've pulled some off for different reasons here and there. Middle grade March, I pulled a bunch off. Some just didn't fit. It was jam-packed full on the back and the front, but I've moved them around a little bit in the meantime. I'm gonna bring you back closer. From that video where I asked for recommendations, I received 104 recommendations of books that I already own, which is incredible. So I created a list on Goodreads, which so many of you have already gone and voted for which ones you really want me to read, and those are still kind of priorities for me, the ones that are near the top of that list. I've done pretty decently, and I've read 22 of the 104, which is only a fifth, which isn't quite half. So I do have a ways to go with this, but I just get distracted by glittery new books that have come into my life. But I do still want to make decent progress. I'm just going to run through really quick. I'm not going to hold up books, but I'll put pictures in. These are the books that I have already read that you guys recommended to me this year. And they are alphabetical because that's how I have them in this spreadsheet that I made. A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. A Place for Us by Fatima Farheen Mirza. Someone said any book by Louise Penny, and I've read 3. I've read book 3, 4, and 5. So I've read 3 of those books. As Bright as Heaven by Susan Meisner. So good. Bookish Life of Nina Hill was a bit of a disappointment for me by Abby Waxman. Esperanza Rising by Pam Munoz Ryan. I read that during middle grade March and loved it. Flora and Ulysses, I also read in middle grade March by Kate DiCamillo. This is a Newbery book, so that also helped me with my Newbery goal, which is not an official goal of the year. It's like a lifetime goal, so I'm not counting that in this video. Fountain of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. Loved that. Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. Gone with the Wind. I'm still in the middle of, but I'm marking it as read, by Margaret Mitchell. Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. Finishes a trilogy. So awesome. Oh, series. I'll make that a different video. I Captured the Castle by Dodie Smith was a wonderful surprise. The second book in the Land of Stories, The Enchantress Returns by Chris Colfer, another middle grade book that I've read this year and loved. I read Next Year in Havana by Chanel Clayton, another kind of disappointment. It was just okay for me. Night Gardener by Jonathan Auxier, loved that. Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Jester. Recursion by Blake Crouch, so good. The Tale of Despero by Kate DiCamillo. I read that aloud to the kids that I nanny. The Thief by Megan Whalen Turner, another middle grade book. The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry by Rachel Joyce was another one that was just okay for me. Where the Mountain Meets the Moon by Grace Lynn, another middle grade that I loved. I did really good with middle grade ones. And Winter Solstice by Rosamund Pilcher, which was a big one, and I read it. So that's the 22 books that I have read so far from this list. I continue to kind of keep my eye. I have them all separate so that I can see them and pick them up. I've done really good with series from this list, and I did really good so far with the middle grade recommendations, but I still have 80 something more to go that will not all get read this year. I can say that I did unhaul one of them. I unhauled the Jojo Moyes book, The Last Letter from Your Lover. I decided that that was not going to be a book for me, so I got rid of that. But I do have 5-star predictions currently going that I'm working on that are from these recommendations, and I just kind of always keep this list in my head when I'm thinking about my monthly TBRs and what do I want to read. I always tend to take a look at this list and see if anything is jumping out at me from these books, or look at the cart. So I do try to have 1 or 2 every month in my TBR, and I'm making progress. 22 is pretty good. That's almost 4 a month that I've read so far from this list. I would say that that's doing really good with this goal, to be honest. That's it. So I will put in the description box below the link to the Goodreads list if you haven't yet voted on that list and you would like to help me prioritize what I should pick up from the recommendations cart. But I would love to hear from you. How are you doing with the goals that you've set for yourself this year? Did you set reading goals? Are they going well or not so well? I have a mixture. I will do a video soon about the series that I've made progress in, because I feel like I've done really well so far this year, but I didn't make note of all that for this video, and all my series books are out in the other room, so it'll just be another video that will be coming later this month. But I hope that you enjoyed this check-in with my 2020 goals, and give me some encouragement that I can do it. I can reach these goals by the end of the year. Maybe not the classics one, and I'm definitely not reading all 104 books. But let's chat in the comments below about these things, about goals, about the books that you're loving, about anything that you want to talk about, and I will be talking to you in another video very soon. Bye.